Welcome back to CryptosRus. My name is Aaron and you're watching DeFi Friday. Today I'd like to talk about where I do my research on chain and where to get the best APRs on our investments. So let's jump into my screen here. I'm going to be in DeFi Llama for the majority of this video today, and I want to walk through what I do on a daily basis here. I want to find the best yields on ETH to ETH pairs. I want to find the best yields on lending, and then I'm also going to search the best yields on stablecoins. So I'm going to use multiple different chains, and I'm going to be searching this all in DeFi Llama. In my opinion, the best way to look up on-chain data. All right, so let's get started. This is what it looks like when you go to DeFiLlama.com. You're going to have all these different tabs here. I'm going to go to the Yields tab to start. You can search all kinds of stuff in DeFi Llama. There's just so much information here. It's hard to know where to get started, so this is why I'm showing you here. I'm going to go to Yields and then Pools, and then I'm going to put in ETH here into the search bar, and I'm going to put a couple different kinds of ETH. You might have ETH, you might have staked ETH. Lido staked ETH in particular is a big one. There is a Seth coin, which is a synthetics ETH. All kinds of different wrappers here for different kinds of ETH. So if you have any of these in your wallet, you want to be able to search for them in this search. I'm going to use this Steth2, and let's do Reth as well, which is the Rocket Pool staked ETH. This is going to give us a good range of tokens to search for because we want to search ETH to ETH pairs, so there's no impermanent loss. Impermanent loss is when you pool two coins together, you might have one move faster up or faster down against each other, and in liquidity pools, which is going to be what we're searching primarily, you're going to lose value in those tokens if the balance gets out of whack. So we want to manage our search accordingly to get some impermanent loss resistant pooling. All right, now that I've got all these different ETH wrappers in my search, I'm going to go to attribute here, and then I'm going to search no IL, which is going to eliminate a bunch of extra pools that we're not interested in. So now that I've got that, I'm going to also search chain. I want to search chains that I'm comfortable with. I don't want some rando chain on here. There's so many different chains out there, guys, that are compatible with Ethereum. So let's search Ethereum chain, Arbitrum chain. We're going to skip over Tron. Why not search BSC or Binance Smart Chain? Some people call that BNB chain. Polygon, Avalanche, and we want to find Optimism too down here, because Optimism is a great layer 2 of Ethereum. All right, now we've got impermanent loss. We've got all these ETH wrappers and ETH basics here in our search. Let me go through these real quick. We have APY, base APY, and reward APY, and then we've got a 30-day average, which is really great metric as well. I like to hit base APY because that's going to give us the base, not including reward APY. If you just search by APY, it's going to give you the base APY plus rewards, and I'm not terribly interested in reward APY a lot of the time. My interest is in stacking ETH on my ETH, right? So these are going to be paid out in Ethereum or whatever the base token is. So I'm going to hit base APY here. We want to search for the best reputable pools. The CRETH2, I'm not familiar what CRETH2 is, so I'm going to skip over that. Now this on Sommelier is a great pool that I am familiar with. Sommelier is a project on the Ethereum chain that is well established and reputable, guys. It is making a really great base APY of 112% with a reward APY of 6%. Now, the reason why I haven't personally used Sommelier though is because you need to include all of these different ETH wrappers inside of your pool. So it does cost a lot of ETH to transact on the Ethereum chain, and so you'd have to spend a mint just getting all of these different ETH wrappers pooled together. So I'm going to skip that one as well. ETH to Beth, I don't know what Beth is. Weth on Velodrome, that's a single-sided one. That's a pretty good one. On Terra Finance, on the Optimism chain, you're not going to spend a lot of fees there. Now, one thing you do want to look at, though, is the TVL. With a TVL of only $11,000, that's a good sign that there's not a lot of people in it, and that's probably why it has an APY of this 76%. So my favorite pool so far that I'm seeing here is this WETH to RETH pool in Arbitrum. Arbitrum is going to have less fees than the Ethereum chain. It's a layer 2 chain built on top of Ethereum. So you know that you have the security of Ethereum, and because it burns Ethereum as its gas token, you're not going to need to send anything more than Ethereum over to the Arbitrum chain in order to get this started. So I've shown you in previous videos how to get into a Uniswap pool, so I'm not going to show you how to do that today. So I'd like to move on to finding the best yield on lending your Ethereum to a lending platform. So we're going to go down to the Borrow tab now, and we're going to search the same sort of situation here. We're going to put in ETH, and then a couple wrappers as well, so wrapped ETH and Lido staked ETH. And why not put in Frax ETH as well, as that's a great wrapper, especially on Optimism chain. And then we're going to limit this to chains as well. So let's go to chains and let's clear all. Click on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Arbitrum, and Optimism again. And that's going to give us a good base search here. And now we're going to hit supply base. We're not going to look into borrow. We're not going to be borrowing in particular on this platform. So we're looking for the best APY possible on lending ETH to a lending program. Because we're not borrowing on top of our Ethereum, we're not being exposed to liquidation risks. We're only being exposed to the contract risk or a possible exploit of those contracts. So my favorite so far that I'm seeing here is this one on the Arbitrum chain. Tenderfy is a relatively new project, but is taking GMD ETH, which is a wrapped ETH that increases in value. It's got a great APY of 8.33% right now, and that's paid in Ethereum. I'm personally invested in this specific pool, and so highly recommend it. Let's move on to stablecoin pools. So like the Ethereum search, the Ethereum to Ethereum pools, I want to pair a bunch of stable coins up against each other. So we're going to put in USDC. We're going to add USDT as well. And that's going to give us a pretty strong base of some pools that we can look at. You can add others like Frax and DAI and these sorts of more common USDC based coins. And then I'm going to go to chain and do the same thing again that we've done with the other two searches. We're going to search Ethereum, Arbitrum, Binance, Polygon, Avalanche, and Optimism. And then we'll hit base APY here as well. Now in this search, you might get a lot of different coins that you're not familiar with, so you'll have to do some research if you want to get into a pool that you are comfortable with. One thing that I like to do with this search is actually go into the TVL or total value locked and limit this number to a minimum of $1 million. Limiting the search to TVLs of over $1 million gives you a little bit more peace of mind. I like to think the higher the TVL on these pools, the more reputable they are, because more investors are putting their hard-earned cash into these pools. So right off the bat here, I'm not super familiar with LUSD, and nor have I used Arrakis at all, so I'm going to skip over that, but I have used Camelot on the Arbitrum chain, and I've used both USDT and USDC. I'm very familiar with them. Obviously, I put them both into the search. Making 20% APY on that is very, very good, and but you do have to look again. This 30-day average is a little bit low at 5.53%. If you look down just a little bit further, there is this GMD protocol. Again, this is the same protocol that I mentioned earlier, that GMD ETH, so it's familiar to me. Currently, USDC single-sided is making a 10.47% return, and the 30-day moving average on that is actually 12.59%. Getting between 10 and 12% on USDC single-sided in a pool is pretty fantastic, guys. You could start in this Camelot pool getting 20%, and if it was to go down, you could possibly cycle into something like this USDC vault on GMD protocol, but I personally like this option, so that's what I would like to go with. Before I invest in any of these protocols, guys, I like to check out their Discord channels. I like to read their docs. And last but not least, I wanted to clue you into another on-chain data aggregator, and that's Dune Dashboards. Before I invest any of my money into any of these protocols, I like to check out their websites, hop into the Discords, and find their documentation. Every single protocol that I've ever invested in has really nice docs and a thriving Discord channel. And then last but not least, I like to get into Dune Dashboards. So let's type in something like GMD here. Since it came up a couple times in our searches, I wanted to give you an example. So you get some real world data on top of their website, Discord, and documents. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and God bless.